We're going to talk about how my client Orlando got approved $95,000 at 0% interest for 12 months in 2 weeks. I'm pissed off because it could have happened sooner, but we're going to talk about it. All right, let's talk about it. So, in this video, we're going to discuss proof, obviously, because if you're new and you're watching me, maybe you just think everything's a scam. So, we're going to show you all proof. We're going to talk about the process from start to finish to show you the reality of business funding. And that's what I'm talking about with like it could have been done sooner, just to show y'all reality of the back end. And then we're going to talk about some helpful data points and best practices. Chances are, if you're watching this, you're looking for a way to maximize your own business funding. And if you're the ideal person I'm talking to, you probably make at least $250,000 a year with your business, 250, 300K at least. So this will be good for you too, just to see the types of limits you can possibly expect to see. And then we're going to talk about how you can work with me to maximize your business funding. Because if you are that business owner, you're busy, you're focused on your lane, you should just get with the experts so we can help you do what you need to do. So this was actually achieved with just two banks. So this 95,000, we can basically say 100,000 was achieved with two banks, an average of like basically 50K limits essentially. So let's get straight to it. This video will be helpful, so watch the entire video. So I posted Orlando's approval right here. So this is from Citizens Bank. And as you see right there, you see the name. Congratulations, your request for Citizens Bank, blah, 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 was approved. You see the $50,000 limit over there. It doesn't get more receipts than that. You know what I'm saying? And then the 45K limit one. So I got a group chat with my team. And basically, I was like, okay, did Orlando call reconsideration? And he got approved for 45,000. Now, a hater that doesn't know nothing about nothing, that assumes everything's a scam, you might be like, okay, you could have just faked this. Yeah, that's very true. This is what happened. He wasn't able to get the screenshot thing I showed y'all in previous videos with other clients because he just had gotten approved. This was verbal over the phone, you know, so, but he got approved at 45,000, right? My ideal chosen people that's gonna work with me, y'all are not stupid like these poor people that just assume everything's a scam. So you already like no, you get it. He got approved 45,000. All right. So his data points. So his Experian, one thing I'll say, it is a soft pull on Citizens Bank. So his Experian was 750. They do check, but it is a soft pull. That's one thing that I learned after working with, my clients. So no negatives. And of course, on his personal credit, it's a 6-year LLC. It was open in 2018, so it's going to be 7 years this year. And then Florida, Citizens Bank is not everywhere. Chase is everywhere. So just FYI, as you're watching this, you can do your research as far as where they're available, or if you book a call with us, we will create you a customized plan and be able to essentially help you with your business funding so you can focus on your business. Business income, I didn't get permission to post exact. Like I said, if you're the ideal person we're talking to, your business probably does at least maybe 300K a year. But what I'll say is the range of the business could have been anywhere from, well, I'll say, yeah, I'm not going to say the exact number of what the business was, but anywhere from 350 to 600K. So you can pick a number in the middle, closer to you could, even if you want to assume 350K, So just to give y'all an idea of what it takes to get these types of approvals. If you are a new business and you're watching this, like you haven't made money in your business, yeah, you probably have seen all those videos. Oh, get all this funding with the new LLC and that, right? These people like myself that actually do business funding, yeah, it's possible. You'll see those, but it's more than likely not the reality. I'm gonna give y'all the realest shit when it comes to this business funding shit because I already know the way our automations and everything is set up, the way referrals are set up. We're gonna continue getting clients and fund them anyway, so I don't have a reason to lie to you. I'm just putting this on here for y'all, and then if y'all are the chosen ones that's supposed to work with me, okay, cool. We continue our mission to help fund $1 billion to small business owners. So personal income, I'll just leave it at six-figure income. And the nature of the business is actually a business fund, a business consulting company. I know a lot of times people say, "Oh, consulting is a good safe NAICS code." Is business legitimately business consulting, helping businesses? So the process, let's talk about with Chase Bank specifically. So basically, what happens is, if you don't know, With Chase Bank, you can go online and apply like how everybody does and get your approval. But the way that we do it, we work with a bank relationship manager. A bank relationship manager is basically a rep that typically works with underwriting. Just to be transparent with y'all, it took me a little bit of time to finally get the bank relationship manager I've been working with for these years that I've been in the game. But initially, when I was getting my bank relationship manager, it wasn't the easiest thing. I had to figure out certain things to ask, certain things to look out for. Some of these bank reps don't, they're not gonna know like what you know if you have like a credit repair business. So it's not the easiest thing to get a good bank relationship manager is what I'm saying. That's my whole point. That's why people they just pay us to do it for them. So we have a app because we're gonna go through DocuSign. So we got his apps filled out from him on February 12th, right? And then I sent it to my BRM on the 13th actually because he got it to me I think at the end of the day on the 12th. So people were already checked out of the bank, checked out of work, all that. So the BRM for Chase sent out the DocuSign form to him to sign. But this is the thing that happened, and this is why I say that it could have been done sooner, but it wasn't. But this is the reality of business funding. So when you hear these videos of other people talking about, oh, get this in 300K in business funding in 30 days, all that, you see people market with the ads and all that, right? Some of those people, they're probably not doing it, or if they are doing it, they're not telling the truth as far as everything that goes on. This is real life shit. I'm telling y'all real life shit about business. This is shit that actually happens. What happened was he was having some email issues, so there was a delay. It went into the next week. He finally was able to complete the DocuSign and he got it filled out by February 18th. So you see, we started on the 12th essentially. Technically, you could say we started on the 13th, but we started there and then these days are going by. And then I always tell people the DocuSign to be patient for at least 2 weeks, but our data shows anywhere from like 7 to 9 days. So as you see right here, 18th was filled out, and then on the 25th, that's when he was told to call reconsideration. So in this case, it was 7 days. So he got the verbal approval on the phone. That's why for anybody that's a dumbass and just saying, "Oh, the WhatsApp message you sent, it could have just been fake or whatever." The reason why we don't have that screenshot of showing the limits and all that is because it was a verbal approval, but he was approved 45,000. But if you're watching at this point, I'm assuming you're somebody that has intelligence. So it's a poor people that have all that, those dumbass, everything is a scam. Everything is skepticism of the poor people. But you're not poor if you're watching at this point, I'm assuming. So that was the process for Chase, right? So he got 45,000 over there. Now let's talk about the remaining 50,000, right? Like I showed you on the screenshot up there. So Citizens Bank, we got his app. So same thing. So the same way that Chase with my BRM, we have that form that we fill out with the information, and then they get the DocuSign. Same thing with Citizens. But what we do is we attach the ID as well. So that's how he works. So we got his app filled out and sent it to my BRM with a copy of his ID. It got delayed for a bit just because a lot of stuff has been going on. Anybody that actually does the business funding shit and it's not just on here as a gimmick saying like, "Oh, go get the funding and all this." If you work with Citizens, you may know that they've been going through some issues. There was like moratorium at some point. They've been going through issues with people, I guess, opening fake businesses and doing fraud and stuff like that. So it's been ups and downs, right? This is the reality of what I'm telling y'all, right? So when y'all see people online talking about all this, oh, go get 500K in 2 minutes and business funding and all that, right? Ask them for their receipts, right? I'm literally, bro. Y'all see, y'all see that, right? Orlando, right there, 50,000 approval. Y'all see the ones I put on posts. If you go to my channel under posts, you see the posts I've been putting there. If you're in my community, my school community, you see the ones I put there. If you go to my fucking IG, you go see it there, right? At Michael Benjamin, right? So it gets to a point. I don't think if you're watching this, I don't think you're unintelligent, but unintelligent people, they can't distinguish between the legit people like myself and people that's just screaming all this stuff but don't show any results. So if there's no results, then if it's all talk, it might be a scam. So just keep that in mind. So yeah, I got delayed for a bit because he was what's it called? I think he was backed up with applications. But then our remote app processor told him to unfreeze his Experian, right? Because what had happened was obviously his Experian was frozen. Typically, within our consultations and everything, we do make sure that we make sure everything's unlocked. So that's a little bit of our fault as well within my business, as far as just not making sure that I guess the Experian was fully unlocked. So we take accountability for that, but there was a little bit of a delay because of that. And then February 26th, he got approved 50K with the email I showed y'all above, right? So y'all see the receipts over there. So best practices. Clearly, both of these were done through bank relationship managers. If you don't know what a BRM is by now, you know now that they were responsible for us getting these high ass limits from two banks, right? So keep that in mind. So we work directly with the BRM that has a successful track record of client approvals under their name. And one thing too, this is a real shot I got to tell y'all too, because a lot of these people are gonna be lying to you. So a BRM doesn't necessarily guarantee an approval. Yeah, we've gotten declines, right, for different reasons. Couldn't verify the business. We've gotten some BS declines where we were able to resubmit as well. But my point in saying it is, don't let anybody tell you that if you go through a BRM, is a guaranteed approval, because that's not the case. That's somebody that actually doesn't do the business funding, or they're just capping, you know? So keep that in mind. It's just a BRM works with the bank and sometimes directly with underwriting, so they can make it easier. Like for example, my citizens guy, he was basically explaining to me, if things look good with the story of what's going on, if somebody gets a certain approval, he can go and talk back to underwriting and kind of convince them on why they need a little bit more money and bump that up. So that's one of the perks. Right? I don't want to get too much into it, but as we serve our clients, it's our mission to help get them the best funding that they can get. So that's what we do. So if you're watching this, you're just like, okay, cool. I'm not familiar with any of these processes. I've never been through any of these processes. Let the experts do what the experts do. Book a call in the description and we'll see if we can help you maximize your business funding. Make sure you got no negatives. You got at least 700 credit scores, and preferably, hopefully, your business is doing at least 200K a year. If it's a new business, we probably can still get you something, but the reality, I'm not going to come on here and just say, oh, if you got a new business that never made money, you're just going to be getting 50,000, 45,000. That's not always the case. So keep that in mind. So one thing too, my BRM connections, they're vetted, right? I've been in the game. I've been getting people funded since 2021. I started this game in 2021, right? So I need y'all to understand. Obviously, I've been in the industry for years, and I've vetted these connections for years, right? And you got to understand, it's like building a relationship, because like I've seen certain people where they're just like, okay, why don't I just go apply for myself? Why don't I just go to the bank and get a relationship manager? Yeah, you could do that, but it's like, okay, the first interaction is going to be like, oh, hi, nice to meet you, and all that. They're not going to just start, looking out for you like that. I've been through so much shit with these bank reps that I work with. We've gotten people funding so much, so they're incentivized to continue to work with me. I literally have their numbers. I'll be texting them and stuff, right? Just checking up and stuff like that. So I need y'all to realize this is relationship building, and not every bank relationship manager is created equal. Some of these bank relationship managers you're gonna know more information than them if you're a credit repair person. So when you find a good one, you want to keep them. So basically, more with the process, we structured Orlando's business in a way that was attractive to the bank. So it's not just the bank relationship manager doing their value. We add our value by doing the work on that part as well. So we do the groundwork on that. We did our part as well to, make the BRM's job easier when they're going to work with underwriting to vouch for the client. All right, so obviously we structured the personal credit in a way that it was attractive to the bank for the same reasons. So this is a reality. Like what I was saying, we could have gotten to 95K quicker because, it's a collaborative effort, as you can see. There were delays in the process. Some of that was on the client. You could argue, some of it was on us too, with the Experian not being unfrozen right away. So, we take ownership of that as well. And it's not a perfect system, but this is the reality. So don't let people come online here and tell you that everything's just perfect and it's just sweet. Shit ain't sweet all the time, you know? And one thing too, this is the reality too. You can try to do it on your own. But if you decided to apply it or apply without, knowing the nuances of what we know, having the relationships that we have, you're possibly wasting your time. Because imagine you get approved maybe 5K limit. Now you got to wait 6 months just to get up to 10K. 6 months, get up to 15, 20K, and et cetera, right? Versus getting with the experts and letting us do what we do. So yeah, I'm saying the same thing here. I said even if you're approved, you may get a baby limit, and now you got to build from there every 6 months versus just getting with us in the first place. And one thing too, one of the banks, when the banks like, let's say they deny you, right, because you didn't know what you were doing. Now you got to wait at least 30 days before you can even reapply. So it's certain things where you just got to understand, okay, let me just save my time. This is usually an issue with poor people, but if you're a business owner and you're making at least 200, 250K a year, you have some success. So I'm assuming you have some level of common sense, so I don't have to beat it to y'all like that. I can't tell you every single detail that goes into consideration in one YouTube video, and there's certain things that just happen in real time where we just have to make adjustments. If in your lane, if let's talk about it, right? I said it right here. If you're an expert in your field, you can probably think of a similar concept where a newbie is trying to do things on their own, and you know the game, so it just looks silly to you when they try to do it like that, right? And that's how I look at people that try to do business funding on their own, because I know what I know and I've experienced what I've experienced. If this was like 2020 before I got in the game, I would probably be having the same mindset as y'all. Like I could just go online and apply by myself. Why do I need to work with the company? Why do I need to pay them 10% when I can go apply by myself, right? Orlando understood the importance of getting with experts and working on his business. 95K at 0% interest in 2 weeks, 100K in 2 weeks at 0% interest for 12 months. I don't think that's a bad deal. Just pay 9,500 out of that, right? You're still netting most of the money. So versus if you got small limits and now you got to build up. So keep that in mind. All right. So yeah, if you're a business owner that can benefit from at least 95K at 0% interest for 12 months and our relationships, I'm gonna have a link in the description, probably in the comments as well. Go ahead and book a call. We'll see if we can help you, especially if you live in Florida, right? You got a lot of options if you live in Florida. We like the Florida clients. This is a Florida client, which I talk about too. If you're a credit repair business owner, I definitely recommend that you do business funding for your clients and build BRM relationships because this makes it easier to scale your business. If you don't got BRM relationships, you're going to want to get with someone like myself that does have those BRM relationships. And then just for perspective, you see, this is one client. We literally made almost $10,000 just from one client in 2 week period. All right. So keep that in mind. If you're not cheap or poor, I'm going to leave links for our programs below if you want to become our next success story. If you are cheap or poor and somehow you're watching this, get off my video. Everybody else, y'all have a blessed one.